that immediately like sticks out. Isn't that so cool? Sorry, the dorky thing. I worked in kitchens for years, so I've got a weird sense of humor sometimes. If you worked in kitchens, then you know what I'm talking about. Not necessarily a bad, like, it's definitely a crass sense of humor. Like, I'm definitely holding back right now and not cussing as much as I normally would and all that kind of shit. You see, but some couples slip out trying to behave for YouTube, you know, because I love nothing more than to, you know, make a few bucks maybe doing this would be great. It's an evolution, you know, the whole thing is an evolution. I've only been doing it for a few months, so I'm still getting used to how it all operates, you know. But given a little time, I'll get used to it and I'll do it. My biggest tackle is trying to figure out how to get the editing software and stuff on my computer so that I can make some better videos. I'm gonna call my computer guy. When my computer crashed, I just called my computer guy and he just, you know, like I said, he swapped out the hard drive and the RAM of the piece of crap HP and put in the new stuff and a new operating system, that Ubuntu. But it's like a super pain in the ass to get any editing software or OBS Studios or any of that. So I'm gonna have to have a chat with him, see if he can find me a little workaround or something. I'm sure he can. He's a smart fella, so I'm sure he'll be able to do it. That way I can be a proper streamer where you can watch me drawing and you can see my goofy face. Why you'd want to, I don't know, but that's all, you know. And it'd be nice to have it'd be nice to be able to look at my computer screen and see what people are saying and talk back, you know, a little bit and ramble about that kind of stuff. So there's one coming out of the portal. Yeah. But like I said, it's a work in progress. And if you saw where I started at just a few months ago, hanging a picture up above my oven and improvising a story for a doodle I made, you'd see that I've come a long way already with the time lapses and the remixings and this and that and then the long form videos, and you'd see what I'm talking about. All I need is the ability to do it, and I can do it, and I will do it. I will prevail. Hopefully, we'll see. People gotta like me, you know. People gotta like what I'm shoveling first. So hopefully they like listening to the ramblings of a middle-aged, slightly overweight single father who's trying to put his long hobby skill to, and not just skill, but I did go to college for this, so I was already drawing my whole life and stuff though by the time I went to college, and it didn't really teach me anything. It taught me not to go to college. Don't go to college. I mean, I'm not going to say don't go. If you're going to be a brain surgeon or something, by all means, go. But, you know, I went for art, you know. At the time, there wasn't YouTube. You know, a lot of people are like, you can just go to YouTube, man. And it's like, yeah, that's true today. Back when I started college, they didn't have all that stuff, man. It was 2001 when I started college. I took a year off for a little bit in between, and I still graduated in 2008. 2008? 2008. So, you know, I mean, what was YouTube in 2008? It was like Dark Side Phil on his couch, freaking doing his deed, you know what I'm talking about? It wasn't like it is today. I don't even know if there was any like art type stuff, and there definitely wasn't too many things where somebody was talking the whole time, like I see a lot of art based YouTubers, but a lot of them aren't talking the whole time, It's actually harder than it looks to draw and talk. It's not like it's walking and chewing bubblegum, But it'd be nice to get the proper gear and be able to put up a nice, decent stream on Kick. In the meantime, I'm just making do with what I got using my phone. I got that Streamlabs, and I just do it like that. And I pretty much just do the same thing. I ramble on about some shit, like that asshole cutting me off earlier today. Yeah, I can't believe that guy. And that's the kind of shit that gets people smoked in some parts of the world, There's a lot of people, there's a lot of crazies out there these days. And plenty of people get blown away for shit like that. Cutting somebody off and then going 20 under the speed limit. What if I was a nefarious mafia boss, People are too willing to screw a complete stranger, I guess is what I'm saying these days. And that's the problem. Is that people are totally willing to just screw a stranger over. Because they're like, haha, what are they going to do about it? And it's like, you don't know who that person is. They could be, famed mafia boss Tony Scapapali, who knows, right? I'm a roofer, and this is my opinion, if you know, you know. But yeah, so it's like, people in the city blow people away for that shit all the time. Luckily, I'm a cool-headed fella. I don't mess around like that, but at the same time, it's like, shit, man. What if I wasn't, What if we were in Chirac and I cut off some fucking punk kid that decided to blow me away with their switch, That'd be ridiculous, man. Dying because you cut somebody off. Unreal. That's why I don't mess around like that. I don't play with strangers, I don't mess with people. I just leave people alone. If you come and get in my face or whatever, I'll do something, but if you're just some guy on the street, it's like I just leave you alone. Because it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay to get sprayed. Or the cops are the ones doing it, you gotta worry about them these days too. You see, when I was growing up, all you had to do was worry about the gangs. And the cops would help you. Now you gotta worry about the cops too. So, like, you gotta worry about the gangs messing with you. And the cops that come and get you, that come and respond. Because they could be a worse gang than the one you just dealt with. So, you never know. Be careful. Everybody should have, like, a freaking body camera on at all times, outside. Myself included. I got my GoPro I use for like a dash cam when I'm driving around because there's so many dumbass drivers in my town. But other than that, I don't, wear a body camera around. Maybe I should outside. There's a lot of maniacs out there. And think about it, think about the situations in life out there. Think about, look what just happened with that one, there's that crazy chick that just did it, the DoorDash girl. Yeah. That lady could have ruined that man's life just for some fucking TikTok clout, okay? Think of that. She was ready, willing, and able to ruin that guy's life for some TikTok clout. And, she probably won't even get in that much trouble, even though, and the only thing that got him out of it was his own freaking his own ring cam, thank God. That's the best commercial ring cam could have. It's just showing her getting arrested and being like, Ring Cam did this. And it's like, every man knows somebody like that, something like that's happened to. And it usually doesn't go that far. But sometimes it does, and it's like, yeah, she could have ruined that guy's life over that. And she didn't even know this guy. And again, it's like, it goes to show you, it's like you don't even know who you're playing with. What if he was some maniac? You know? Crazy shit. She's gonna get hers, I hope. Probably not. Probably won't get in any fucking trouble at all. You know? Even though if a man did the same thing, it would just be the end of the world. They'd still be bitching about it right now. They'd still be bitching about it. You believe what that man did? That white heterosexual man? Yeah. Yeah, they'd still be crying about it today. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Hopefully she gets in a lot of trouble. I think she's looking at a couple felonies, which is good. They're like Class C felonies, so they're not big deals. But hey, just take away her ability to vote. Take away that much and I'll be satisfied. You know, for real. She's only like 23 years old. She could get in a lot of trouble though, you know, if the judge felt like being a douchebag, they could like put her in jail for a while. 6 years or something. It's a long time. Especially when you're young, you know. She is pretty young. I think she's only like 23 like I was saying, so it's pretty young to be playing around. Yeah, I'll go like this for right now. Let me see here. Yeah, it's too young, man. And it's like, think about it. If she was willing to do that easily, she was willing to throw a guy's life away that easily. You have to look at everything she's done in her past. Every kind of, you know, every decision she's ever made, every accusation she's ever made. And you gotta comb through it now with a fine-tooth comb. And you gotta scrutinize and ridicule everything she's ever done and said. You know, is this legit? Is it not? And that's crazy. And she made like 100 fucking videos. Like, oh my god, shut up. Shut up. You know, every video I saw of hers, I just was screaming at my TV. It's just like, stop talking. But she just couldn't do it. And it's like it's going to be her own mouth that got her in trouble, probably. You know, all the videos she made where she just kept doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on accusing this guy of SA. When he didn't do anything. He was passed out drunk. Come on. Come on. He was passed out drunk. You know, here's how the whole thing went down. He got drunk, called Wendy, you know, he went out drinking all night, got home, was hungry, called Wendy's, drunk, on the couch, and then because DoorDash takes fucking 2 hours, he started freaking messing around with himself and passed out in the process. And instead of leaving the food at the door, even if it was open just a crack even, she pushed it open more, allegedly. And, yeah. Pushed it open more and filmed him in his own house where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy in your own house. Your own private space to do kinky weird shit. Like jerking off on your couch. And, yeah. And she filmed it and she put it on TikTok. And here's the funny thing. She puts it on TikTok and says she was assaulted. So why didn't you call the cops first? Why did you publish it on TikTok first? You know? Seems kind of random. Like, why would you publish it on TikTok before you called the cops if you were so assaulted, you know? Things to look at, people. So yeah, I hope she does get in trouble. A lot of trouble. Because other people need to learn, like, oh shit, it doesn't pay to frame people for crap they didn't do, you know? So, we'll see what happens though in the end, you know? If some stupid judge or, you know, random jury, because there are still people out there that are supporting this lady, thinking it's a sexist thing, it's a patriarchy thing, and it's like, it's not a patriarchy thing. This lady, it's irrefutable what she did, you know, allegedly. And I just gotta say that to cover my own butt. But she allegedly did all that stuff, but they're sure she did. She got charged, you know? So it's, but, you know, we live in such a fucked up world that, you know, there probably is a jury out there that will be like, I'm gonna stick it to the patriarchy by throwing this jury for this obvious maniac. And that would be the worst, because if she got away with this, then this high profile case, then she'll be a menace. She'll be a menace to society, for sure. And man, it's freaky to think of how much of a menace that kind of girl would turn into. In my opinion, that's what I think. And I think I'm right about that. Especially if she got away with it. And no man would ever get away with it. That's the shit that pisses me off the most. It's like, you know, thank God. Just thank God he had that Ring camera, man. Because really what it boils down to is the word of some guy that's drunk, passed out on his couch, showing himself to the world, apparently. Or some sweet little innocent, you know, Mickey Mouser, you know. So, luckily, the Ring camera... I'm just waiting for the defense to be like, it was AI, sir. You know, come on, you know it's coming. It's AI, sir. This is not a real video, Your Honor. My client was door dashing. She wanted her fame, though. You could tell by her personality. The amount of time she posted, by her previous social media history, you could just tell she was